I'm here with Tim Lara of the Surfrider Foundation. Hello, Tim. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm well. I would like to thank you for coming on to the show for Akaku, also for the community of Maui, and also for myself in the Getting to Know Maui show. Welcome on to the show.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Okay, so you're the chairman of the executive board.
Correct.
Okay.
For the Maui chapter.
For the Maui chapter. Mm-hmm. So what does that entail?
There's 5 chapters in Hawaii, and there's numerous chapters across the United States and internationally now. Surfrider Foundation is a grassroots nonprofit organization that was started in 1984, actually in California, by a group of surfers who were getting sick when they were going in the water. So they started this organization, and it's really grown over the past 20 odd years or what have you, 26 years. So on the Maui chapter, being the chair of the executive board, the executive board just kind of oversees all the actions of the Maui chapter and helps make things happen here in Maui. So.
Guys, they started this 20 years ago. Now, what was their main focus point?
Water quality. Again, it was started in Malibu, California by a handful of surfers who were actually getting sick because the water quality was so poor in California, and they said there's got to be something we can do about this. So they started doing water testing and created the Surfrider Foundation.
So did they get to the core root why the water was so dirty?
That's Surfrider Foundations. It's one of our big things is water quality. So we've grown to all the chapters across the world and throughout the U.S. and water quality is always definitely a big part of the chapters. So even here on Maui with the injection wells is something that we've kind of been monitoring for a number of years now and are weighing in pretty heavily on. More of that will be revealed as we go through the rest of 2011 and into 2012.
So the water quality is getting worse?
I don't know that it's getting worse. It depends on areas. I mean, right, you look at Kahului Harbor, which is definitely far better than it was in years past. Whenever there's cruise ships that were pumping and the sewage factory. So there's different areas. Over in Lahaina right now, there is an injection well that is impairing the water over there. So it's hard to look at Maui as a whole and say the water quality as a whole, but looking at different areas, some get better over time, some get worse depending on the activities taking place in that area.
So how long have you been the executive director?
For about a year and a half now. So I was elected at the beginning of 2010, and we'll have elections again at the end of this year, so it's a 2-year term.
So you guys are a nonprofit agency?
Correct. We're a nonprofit grassroots organization. So what that means when we say grassroots is it's all volunteer-based. So if there's members in the community that have an issue that they feel passionate about or something they want to get involved in, then by all means we'll have them in and help them out with that. But myself, I'm not paid. None of the executive directors are paid. It's a strictly volunteer basis, except when it gets to the national level where we do have a staff lawyer and some staff members at the national level.
So here on Maui, what are some of the things that you guys have done to improve reef quality and water quality?
There's a lot. The Maui chapter's been around for quite a while, and I just got involved, like I said, about a year and a half ago. One of our biggest victories on Maui was the Save Ma'alaia campaign. So for a number of years, they've been wanting to expand the Ma'alaia Harbor, and Surfrider Foundation, as well as a number of other organizations, got together and started the Save Ma'alaia campaign. And that was really successful. So the Corps of Engineers has finally kind of listened and realized that in the past they were wrong with their attempts to, initially they're just trying to keep the boats in the harbor safe, and they found that their models were actually all wrong, and they would have brought more wave action into the harbor. So that's one large area that we've had victories in. We do other campaigns. We do water sampling around the island of Maui every month. So we have, I believe, 10 different locations that we test every week. And we purchased a while back the Blue Water Task Force equipment so we can actually test for bacteria levels. And that's over at the National Humpback Whale Sanctuary in Kihei. So we partner with NOAA on that. We also do monthly beach cleanups. So every first weekend of the month, we do a reef cleanup with Trilogy Excursions, and that campaign is called Blue Aina. So Trilogy actually donates their captain, their crew, and their vessel, and we go out to different reef and free dive and clean fishing lines and rubbish and different things off the reef. And so it's been a really successful campaign that we've been doing for about a year and a half now. The second Saturday of the month, we do a Honolulu Bay cleanup day, a stewardship day with Les Potts over in the Honolulu area. And then the third Sunday of every month, we do a beach cleanup, and that bounces around from different spots on the island. We've been out to Hana, the west side, south side, north shore. So we have some big cleanups that we're doing. So,
anything coming up in the near future?
Just those 3 events. Every month we do all 3 of those events. First weekend, Blue Aina. Second weekend, Honolulu Stewardship Day. And third weekend, third Sunday, is the beach cleanup. And all of our events you can stay up to date by checking out surfrider.org/Maui or facebook.com/surfridermaui and find all of our events on there.
Is that how you volunteer as well?
Yeah, if you're interested in volunteering, by all means, just send us an email and we'll add you in our membership database, and you'll get all of the emails with what's going on. But for the large part of them, you just simply show up at the events and help out. But if you're wanting to get involved on a bigger level and maybe help coordinate some of these things, then we're always looking for people that are stoked on giving back.
How much trash have you guys actually cleaned up?
It varies. It's interesting when we go out on the reef cleanups because sometimes we get hardly anything at all, which is actually kind of great, to know that those reefs aren't really that impaired. Other times, like when we go to Malo Wharf, we fill up the whole back of Trilogy's boat with stuff that we got off the reef. And it's similar with the beach cleanups. Sometimes you do a beach cleanup and there's not really much to find. And then other times, when we did the Maui Harbor cleanup, we actually found 1,720 cigarette butts in less than 2 hours. So cigarette butts is by far the most common found item on a beach cleanup, and then other plastics second after that. So bottle caps and different marine debris that's floated up. So it really depends on the area. Some of our larger cleanups, we do the 5 town cleanups every year: Lahaina Town cleanup, the Kihei Town cleanup, the North Shore Town cleanup, the Central Town cleanup, the Hana Town cleanup, and then we get, it's definitely focused on the beach, but we go other areas as well and just really get in deep. And I think the North Shore Town cleanup, we found 11 abandoned vehicles last year and pulled them out of the cane fields, as well as thousands of, over a ton of just debris that we picked up in different areas. So,
wow, that sounds like a big job.
Yeah.
How long did it take you guys?
That one, I think it was probably about a 4-hour deal. We met at Baldwin and just kind of sent teams out in different locations. We went all the way up and down the beaches there, went up Baldwin Avenue, so covered quite a big area with that. And that was started after the Lahaina Town cleanups that Matt Lane founded, I think, 5 years ago now. So we just kind of took that model, and Matt helped us out, and we expanded that to all the other towns on Maui.
Right on. So, do you guys have an office or anything that anybody can show up at?
We don't have an office. So again, it's just volunteer based, and the best way is just email Maui@surfrider.org or go to our website, and the links are on there if people are looking to get involved. So the executive board is 7 members currently, and a lot of the members are involved with other nonprofits on Maui as well. So we're really fortunate to have a great executive committee.
So do you have fun doing it yourself?
I do absolutely enjoy it. It's always great to be able to give back to the community and the environment, and to do it in a way that when we're out in the ocean is even better. And there's a quote that I really enjoy. Io Kapanaole a while back. It was on a BBC documentary. I think it was called "Message in the Waves," and he was talking about kuleana, and that kuleana is our responsibility, but that for every privilege that we have or every right that we have, we therefore have kuleana, or responsibility, to go along with it. So if you have the privilege or the right to play in the ocean or work in the ocean or whatever, be in the ocean, then we also have a responsibility to care for the ocean. And that kind of really brought it home, because it was more than just, what is my responsibility, but my responsibility is actually parallel to my privileges and my rights, that there has to be that other end of that. And so that really hit home for me, because I do spend so much time in the ocean. I play in the ocean, I work in the ocean, and so definitely need to give back to the ocean.
I see. Is there anything that the Surfrider Foundation needs, that's like general stuff that people can donate or anything?
We need members. We always need members. So, there's different ways people can get involved with Surfrider. One is just showing up at an event and giving a hand. That's great. We definitely appreciate people that do that. Another big thing, though, is membership. Membership for the year is $25, so that's less than a cup of coffee a day, And that really goes a long way, because whenever I do go to speak to the county council or different things, if I say myself and 20 members feel this way, they're not going to listen too much, because it's only 20 people. If I say myself and 500 people feel this way about the injection wells or about water quality or about whatever the new topic is, then they tend to listen a little bit more. So that's definitely a huge thing, is keeping the membership up, because then politicians do listen a little bit more.
Did they find out where that injection well was seeping into the harbor over in Lahaina?
Well, there's the injection wells are just that. They're pipes drilled down into the ground where they discharge treated water back into the ground. The injection wells on Maui are unique in the fact that they're so close to the ocean. Typically on the mainland, they have to be set back, so many hundred feet from the shore. But in Hawaii, obviously, we have different characteristics of the ground, and it all being hard volcanic soil or volcanic rock. The fact that if they were to go inland more, then it would affect the water tables. So in Maui or in Hawaii, injection wells are actually right beside the water. And then the water that they're pumping down, the treated water that they're pumping down into the injection wells just leaches right out into the ocean. And so that's a known fact. That's something that there's been studies showing traces from the injection wells right into the ocean. So.
Right on. Well, Tim, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I hear you got something going on today down at the harbor. So you take it easy.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having us on. And again, if anybody needs any more information, Maui@surfrider.org or facebook.com/surfridermaui.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.